Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash True Inferno. And yes, it's another Throwback Tunes on another Thursday. And let me explain something to you guys real quick. So this is another R&B album review. And let me explain something about this one real quick. So first off, the name of this album is called All I Have, done by Amerie. And this is her debut studio album. And let me explain something to you real quick. So obviously, the first R&B album I ever reviewed is John's B album, and meaning I heard that one. I heard or got a number of R. Kelly albums. I heard, who else? Brian McKnight album. I even heard Ursa's debut album. You know, like my mom had it, and then I kind of snatched it from her when I was younger and listened to it like crazy. Then eventually I gave it back. But basically, what I'm trying to say is I have either heard or own a number of R&B albums, and this is one of my all-time favorite ones right here. Oh wow, spoiler alert, not so fast. Even though again I just said that this is one of the best R&B albums that I ever heard, and it's done by a person who I really like, and a person who I think is extremely fine. This chick right here. Hold your horses, pump the brakes. I ain't saying this is an automatic 5 out of 5, or am I? Let's get into it, shall we? So, All I Have, like I said, is Amerie's debut album. This joint came out July 30th, 2002. So this point, I just graduated high school. And it was recorded from 2001 up to 2002. And this album was under Columbia Records, Rise Entertainment, and Witchcraft Records. So there's a little bit of background info in regards to this album, but we'll get to that in a second. So this album debuted and peaked at number 9 on the US Billboard 200 charts in August of 2002, around my birthday, remaining in the top 20 for 2 weeks only and dropping off the top 100 in its 14th week. It also received generally mixed reviews from the music critics. Nevertheless, the album was certified gold by the RIAA for selling over 500,000 copies. I brought one, by the way. And this was accomplished on October 3rd, 2003, and won Amerie a Soul Train Music Award for Best R&B/Soul or Rap New Artist in 2003. According to Nelson SoundScan, the album has sold over 661,000 copies in the US as of July of 2009. So background info on this one. While studying at Georgetown, Amerie befriended a Washington, D.C. club promoter who eventually put her in touch with producer Rich Harrison. During an interview with Maxim, Amerie says she met up with Harrison at a McDonald's parking lot and performed a song for him in her car. Which Harrison, who had just worked on Mary J. Blige's 2 albums, Mary and No More Drama, began making/developing demos with Amerie. This led to her first record deal with Harrison's Witchcraft Entertainment. Wait a minute, I thought it was called Witchcraft Records. But anywho, in collaboration with Columbia Records. According to Amerie, she and Harrison immediately hit it off, and I don't think she mean in that type of rap. In a 2002 interview, she commented, and I quote, "For some reason, we had a very special chemistry. When we worked together, something great would happen," end quote. And there you go with that. So let's move on down to the charts real quick. So like it was number 9 on the US Billboard Top 200. It was number 1 on the US Top R&B/Hip Hop Album charts, and it was number 181st in the Japanese album charts. And like I said, it was gold out in the US, and that is it. I don't think there's any other charts or certifications that she accomplished with this album. But moving on, there are a grand total of 12 tracks. One of them is a skit, so even if that skit was there or not, I can only give you a top 3 because of the fact that there's only 12 tracks. So, and I have to admit, that's a bit of a bummer. I will admit, that is a bit of a bummer. So, let's get on. And actually, before I get on to the names of the tracks, really, let me look at the producers involved. Really, just Rich Harrison, that's it. I thought maybe other producers was involved with it. Nope, it's just him. That's it. He produced the whole entire album. So, in the original version, there's... I lost my train of thought. There's 12 tracks. So the first, and it's called the standard edition rather. The first track is called Why Don't We Fall in Love, which is her first single. This is the one that made me discover Amerie. I'll get more on that later. The second track is called Talking without the G to Me, and that's her second single. So her first two tracks were her first two singles, and in that order, no less. Third track is called Nothing Like Loving You, followed by Can't Let Go. Track number 5 is called Need You Tonight, followed by Got to Be There. Track number 7 is called I Just Died, followed by Hating, again without the G, On You. Track number 9 is called Float, followed by Show Me. Then we got track number 11, which is called All I Have, and track number 12 is called the outro. So the thing about the outro is this. I say it's more like a skit or whatever, but she actually performs in that track, but it's only like 1 minute 3 seconds long, the whole track itself. So that's why I still calling it a skit. Now, the reason why I said the American/standard edition, because there's a Japanese edition. Now, the Japanese edition include 3 bonus tracks. So we got the Just What I Needed to See, which is I never heard that track. I need to find that track, listen to it, see how it is. And then we got the Why Don't We Fall in Love main mix, aka the official remix, and that one features Ludacris. So yes, a track of hers that actually features somebody, because in the standard edition, she featured nobody in any of her songs. It's just her by herself. But in the bonus track in the Japanese edition, we got Ludacris. Now, the third track is called Why Don't We Fall in Love, the Witchcraft remix. I'll get more on these remixes, and there's one more remix. I'll get more of them later on. So, matter of fact, in a quick second, because we're about to look at her first single, which is called Why Don't We Fall in Love. So, this song debuted April 29th, 2002 by US Radio, that is. And this song was recorded September 2001, so around 9/11. Now, as far as, and there was a music video for this song, which was released in June of 2002. So at this point, I just graduated. Yeah, no, I graduated in May. So it was a month after I graduated. But anywho, a little bit of background info about this track. So this song was released as the album's lead single in the United Kingdom in October of 2001, and eventually in the United States in July 2002, after being sent US Urban/Urban AC Top 40 and Rhythmic Radio in April 2002. We'll talk about the charts in a second. And the song was used for the promo of the CBS soap opera The Young and the Restless. It is also one of the songs used in the American version of Donkey Konga 2. So yeah, it's a video game. Now, let's get on with the remixes. So there's a grand total of 3 remixes as far as I know, or 3 official remixes rather. So we got the official remix. Again, I mentioned that one already. That's the main mix, as they call it, featuring Ludacris. And it's off the Japanese edition. That was considered a bonus track. Now there's another remix called the Rockefeller remix, and it features Cameron. So this was around the time where Cameron was, and the entire Dipset crew was under the Rock, was under Rockefeller. And there was a remix also produced by Rich Harrison called the Witchcraft remix. And this one has new verses by Amerie and a new instrumental. And ironically enough, it's in her next album as a bonus track for the US and Japanese edition of the album. So depending on exactly when that album drop, I may review next week, because that was also a good album. That was a good song, the Witchcraft remix. I didn't know it was called the Witchcraft remix until now, which is pretty funny. Now let's look at the charts for the original. So it was 73rd in the Australian singles charts, 18th in the Australian urban singles charts, 40th in the UK singles charts, 23rd in the US Billboard Hot 100, and 9th in the US Hot R&B/hip hop song. So let's move on to her second single, which is called Talking to Me. This joint dropped October 8, 2002 by, well, is it by US Radio? Okay, I'm seeing US Radio add date. So I believe, yeah, the music video dropped on that date, but the US Radio version dropped apparently sooner than that. It's also possible. Now, there's a remix for this. I did not know this one. There's a remix for this, which is done by, okay, it's done by Amerie, obviously, but the production was done by Trackmasters, and it features Foxy Brown. So that's pretty interesting. And there's a music video for this as well. I don't recall seeing the music video. I need to look that up, to be honest. I might have seen it and completely forgot about the music video. I just remember the song and remember how much I like the song. Now, as far as the chart, it did make the charts. It was 51st in the US Billboard Hot 100, and it was 18th in the US Billboard Hot R&B/hip hop song. And that's it. That's it for the singles. And this song was recorded December 2001, by the way. So let's move on to my favorite tracks off this album, starting from the bottom on up. And Show Me, I have to say, is the worst track off this album without question. I'm not saying it's a bad track, but it's decent at best. It's just decent. Next up is Flow. I like the drum patterns in Flow, but it really don't compare to the other tracks listed above it. Need You Tonight is a pretty cool track, but you know, the same thing applies here. It does not compare to the other tracks above it. So obviously Need You Tonight was better than Float, which was better than Show Me, but those two tracks did not compare to the other tracks above it, and Need You and Float does not compare to Need You Tonight, barely. Moving on up, Nothing Like Loving You is a little bit underrated. I don't really listen to it like that, but I was listening to the whole song while reviewing this album, and it's underrated to me. I need to give that song more of a chance. Now, these songs right here are songs that I have no problem listening to from start to finish. I Just Died, I really like that one. Obviously, Why Don't We Fall in Love? That's the reason why I got this album. That and the fact that Amerie is fine as heck. Can't Let Go, somewhat of a Latin feel, but I really like it. Then we got Talking to Me, and it's, you know, it's kind of sad that it did not make my top 3 because that's a really, really good song right there. Now let's get on to my top 3 tracks off this album. Third best track off this album is Hating on You, and it's kind of hard to explain how I feel, not how I feel about this track, but what this track sounds like to me. It's a bit of a smooth type of beat, or not beat, but type of track where you're out and about in a in these sophisticated streets at night. So it's like, it's kind of hard to explain. Like, you driving a sophisticated car like a Benz or a, you know, a BMW, a Jag, something like that. You go to a club that is not rugged or hood rat related, or isn't in the hood or ghetto or ratchet or anything like that. And you go to a sophisticated club, and then you walk out, and now it's like you're just driving around, and the streets are all nice and sophisticated. You know, like downtown, maybe, I don't know what downtown Manhattan is. I'm just using that example. That could be a wrong example, but that's what this track sounds like to me. Like, if I was listening to this track and I was like in New York City or Manhattan or something like that, a sophisticated city, just left the club or wherever, and I'm leaving, I'm going somewhere, whether it's to my apartment, to the crib, or to a hotel room, wherever, I'm listening to this without question. Second best track off this album is All I Have. All I Have is really, really deep, man. I really, really like this track, dog. So All I Have, which is ironically the name of the album, by the way, is a really dope track. And then of course, the best track off this album is Got to Be There. This is one of my all-time favorite tracks right here, dog. So this is like, now that I think about it, I think this is the only fast-paced or close to fast-paced track off this whole album. So I really, really like this one, dog. So Got to Be There, in my opinion, her best track off this album, followed by All I Have, and then Hating on You, followed by Talking to Me and Can't Let Go. So let me give you guys some professional ratings. As I said earlier, this was a mixed bag here. So AllMusic gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. The Boston Globe and Pop Matters gave it a mixed review. They literally say mixed. Boston Herald gave it 3 out of 4 stars. Q gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And USA Today gave it 2.5 out of 4 stars. So, what do I think about this album? And I will admit, this is tough because Amerie is fine as heck. And this is a really good album. It got a lot of great songs in here. But there's like one song that was like decent at best. The other two were pretty cool, but it does not compare to the other songs on this list. And there was one song that's underrated. I'm gonna give this song a 4.75 out of 5. I recommend you download it and keep it. Like I said, there's a lot of good songs on here for an R&B album. Like, so it's not a 5 because even though, like I said, Got to Be There is one of my all-time favorite tracks, and every other, and like the next 6 tracks underneath it, I'll listen to from start to finish. But got to be there. Probably, Why Don't We Fall in Love and Talking to Me are classics. Got to Be There is legendary in my opinion, but it still needed one more song, one more good song. Either that or take out Show Me and put something else in. That's what the way I feel about this album. So there you go with that, man. And next week I may review her second album, which is called Touch. And actually I think I will do that because it came out in 2005. So with that out the way, man, y'all know who this is. This is your boy, the new Jay Gatsby, aka the new Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.